Hey guys, I hope y'all are having a great day today. So we're going to be checking out another new foundation product. So I thought that we were pretty much done with like skin tint type of products now that summer is over, but I'm really interested in this one. This is the new Tower 28 Tinted Sunscreen Foundation, and from what I understand, it should operate kind of like a skin tint, but it's being advertised as a sunscreen foundation. So per the usual, I'm going to show y'all what I think about this when I initially apply it. I'll also give y'all some information on the product, and then of course we're going to be doing a wear test so I can give y'all my overall thoughts and let y'all know if this is something that I would recommend. So before we get into this, if you're here for the first time, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name is SonyaNicole and I do makeup videos here, including some stuff for the 40 and over makeup lovers. So if you're interested, please make sure you subscribe while you're here today. I would love to have you join the channel, and I would really appreciate your support. Okay y'all, let's jump right into it. I don't remember when this came out, but it came out kind of recently, like within the past few days. But it is available now on Sephora's website, and it'll be available in stores on October 29th. So again, this is being advertised as a sunscreen foundation. It's a 2-in-1 product. It's a fragrance-free mineral sunscreen foundation with SPF 30. It's supposed to give you light to medium buildable coverage with a natural finish. It's available in 14 shades and it costs $30, and it says that you can apply it with either your fingers, a brush, or a sponge, and you want to go with your fingers if you want a lighter coverage and use a brush or a sponge if you want a deeper coverage. But it should only go up to medium coverage. It's going to be light to medium buildable coverage. So of course I had a hard time picking a shade in this one. Like I said, it comes in 14 shades, and I decided to get shade number 50, which is Sunset. So that's what the little swatch looks like on the bottle, and I think that this swatch looks like it would be just a little dark on me, but I went with this shade based on the pictures that I saw on Sephora's website. So let's start off with a little hand swatch. Let me shake this up first. Yeah, it is really liquidy, like a typical skin tint. So let me just do a quick little hand swatch so we can see what it looks like. Oh, shade number 50 is described as tan with golden undertones. So that's what shade 50 looks like, and I think because it's going to be a skin tint, I actually think this looks like a really good shade. So I think we'll do pretty good with that. So let's go ahead and apply this to the face and see what we think. So I know that I'm going to want more than light coverage with this, and I also just don't like applying a foundation with my fingers anyway. So I'm going to go in with a sponge and or a brush. I'm going to start off with a sponge just because I know that the sponge is not going to give me quite as much coverage as a brush, but I love to like build up my product, so I like to go in with a lighter coverage and then build it up to my liking. I just don't want to apply it with my fingers, so I'm going to start with a sponge. So let's start off with about that much. Y'all know that I much rather prefer products that have pumps to them, but you know, a lot of times skin tints, they will come in packaging like this. To me, it's just easier to determine like how much product I'm putting on if I'm using a sponge. This sponge, speaking of sponges, is like on its last leg, but I'm gonna keep using it until I just can't use it anymore. But this is from Kokie Cosmetics. So let's start off with this. And I'm thinking with the sponge, I should get enough coverage to at least like even out my skin tone. But I feel like right off the bat though, I'm getting a little bit more coverage than I was expecting. Definitely not like medium or full coverage or anything, but I think it's giving me like evening out my skin tone and kind of like blurring a lot of stuff on my cheek. So I might just stick with the sponge. So I'm definitely going to go on with more, but let's stop right there for a minute. So the first thing that I'm noticing is I really like the way that this blends out. It blended out like really quickly, really easy. It evened out the skin on this side of my face, and I think that you can tell the difference. Like even though I'm getting like light coverage over here, I think that you can tell that I have something on over here, because this side of my face, my skin tone just looks more even and the blemishes look a little more blurred out. So let me know what y'all think. But so far I loved the way that that blended out. So this is no product over here versus a light coverage over here. All right, let me put on some over here, and then we will test to see how this builds. Yeah, this is really good so far at like blurring stuff out. So if you have a good amount of blemishes like me, but you want something really light, so far this is looking like a promising product. Let me move my mirror over a little bit. Okay, so what do y'all think? I think it looks like a really nice skin tint. It evened everything out. And I feel like my cheeks, they look like I have a lot less going on my cheeks right now. I'm also seeing like a little healthy glow. So far, I really like it. I love the way this blends out. Like, that's the main thing that I like so far. It just blends out really, really fast. So I think if I were to wear this, I would go on with another layer if I wanted to build it up. I feel like I would go on with another layer with the sponge because I think the level of coverage that I'm getting with the sponge is really nice. But I'm going to go on I'm going to put on a second layer, but I'm going to blend that out with a brush just so that I can try and see if I can build it up as much as possible. I just want to see how much it builds up. So I'm going to put another layer over here, and I'm going to blend this out with my Morphe E63 brush. So same thing with the brush. It's blending out really fast, really easily. I don't see like any patches or anything like that. So I think this is one of those products where I would use either or. Like, I have some foundations. Usually with thicker foundations, I tend to go in with sponges so that I can shear the product out rather, and build it up to the level of coverage that I want. And then with thinner products, I tend to use a brush, but then I have some products where I feel like I could do either or. So I like both. I think I prefer the sponge a little bit better because it did blend out like a little faster. But in terms of like how it's laying the product on my skin, I think both a sponge and a brush did really well. Oh, before I started blending on this side, I meant to compare the two sides so that we can see the level of coverage that we were getting. I forgot about that, but I can tell you, just because I was, looking at both sides of my face, that it is buildable. It's definitely a nice buildable formula. So if you go on with a second layer, you're going to get a lot more coverage than the first layer, but it's still going to be like a nice medium coverage. It's not going to go to like a full coverage on this one, but it definitely builds up really nicely. Okay, let me know what y'all are thinking so far. I really like it. I do feel like on camera it's coming off just a little bit on the ashy side, but I'm assuming that's my lighting because in my mirror it doesn't look like that. So I feel like on camera, you know how sometimes when you put on a complexion product that has SPF in it and sometimes it'll give you kind of like a white cast, I feel like I see just a tiny bit of that on my camera. But like I said, in my mirror I don't see that, so just keep that in mind. But other than that, I really like it. I think it looks really, really nice. I have a nice healthy glow going on. I think it definitely evened everything out, and I got a little bit more coverage on my cheeks than I was expecting. So far, so good. Let me know what your first impressions are. I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup. I'll speed through this part and then we will start with our wear test. Okay, so here is my look for today. So I did put on just a little bit more bronzer than I normally would, because as I was doing my makeup, I did kind of feel like I was still noticing like a very slight white cast. Like I said earlier, I think it's more noticeable in the camera than it is in my mirror, but even in the mirror, I was thinking that maybe it's just like slightly, and I mean just ever so slightly, like that white cast on my skin. But I think it might be a little bit more noticeable to me because I'm testing out the product and I'm kind of, you know, scrutinizing it. I don't think it looks bad at all. So other than that, my first impression is still that I really like it. So I've had this on for about 20 to 25 minutes now. I don't notice any issues so far. I think it looks really good so far, but of course we're going to do a wear test, and that's going to be the true test to see if this is something that I would recommend. So let's get started with the wear test, and let me know in the comments what your first impression is on how this looks on my face. So it's about 11:40 in the morning, so I like to always try to get to 8 hours if I can, but I'm gonna come back when I think it's time to refresh the makeup, and we'll see how long that is. So I will see y'all a little bit later on. Okay, I am back, and I am happy to report that it is a little after 8:30 in the evening, so that puts us at about like an 8.5 hour wear test for today. So this is what we are looking like. So let me know what y'all think. It's been a while since I've done like a full 8-hour wear test, but I was able to do that today because I feel like the makeup still looks really, really good. Like I'm barely oily in my T-zone, and it's been quite some time since I've had a foundation on for this long, and I've only gotten this oily. So I think the makeup looks really good. Let me know what y'all think. One little tiny thing that I noticed, and again I feel like it's more noticeable to me because I'm testing out the foundation. If I were wearing this out and about, I don't think people would really notice, but although my skin isn't really all that oily, as my oils started to come through, to me it did kind of look like my skin was just getting a little bit more texture as that was happening. However, my allergies have been acting up this week, and whenever my allergies act up, it shows on my skin. So it might just be that, I'm not sure, but I feel like it does, my face does look just a little bit more textured than it did 8 hours ago. But I mean, I feel like for the most part my face looks really, really good. I don't think that I have to blot and repowder, but I am gonna do that just so that we can see what that looks like. So I'm just gonna take my clean tissue here, and I'm not gonna do a lot of blotting because I'm not all that oily, but I always like to just see if the makeup stays intact when you go in to blot off excess oil. Okay, so all of the excess oil is gone. Like I said, it was very minimal excess oil, but this is what it looks like after blotting the foundation. So let me know what y'all think about how it looks. I think it looks fine like this, so I'm not gonna put on any more powder. I just feel like I don't need to, so I'm just gonna stop right here. So just to give y'all my final thoughts on this Tower 28 sunscreen foundation, I really liked this today. I love the way that it wore on my skin, and I would recommend that you try it out, especially if you have been really liking the skin tints that have been coming out this summer. If you feel like you have been preferring a skin tint over a foundation, you should definitely give this one a try. It's really good light to medium coverage, just like it claims to be, and I think it does a really good job of evening things out, just making things look nice and blurred. Like I said, it did make my skin look a tad bit more textured as I was getting like slightly oily, but I feel like that's more so my skin with my allergies. I don't think it was this product, but even if it was, I mean, it was minimal. It wasn't really all that noticeable, and I'm overall satisfied with how it wore on my skin. So I would definitely recommend you try this out. So if you do try it out, or if you already have tried it, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed before you head out, and I will see y'all back here for my next one. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.